Plans for a massive two-day strike by University of California lecturers turned into something very different. We'll take you there.
The highly anticipated Conquest headliner has been announced. We talked to the USC Concert Committee director about what you can expect.
And Staples Center is getting a brand new name just in time for Christmas. Learn more about the pricey deal. Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
UC, AFD, UC, AFD.
What was supposed to be a massive strike by over 6,000 UC lecturers turned into a celebration. A statewide strike that threatened to cancel classes across all University of California campuses was called off. Good evening, I'm Anisha Banerjee.
And I'm Luke Scorziell. The non-tenured UC lecturers that organized the strike finally reached an agreement with UC administrators.
In what the union considers its best contract ever, the lecturers avoided a strike that would have put classes on hold across the state. After going 20 months without a contract, the union and UC administrators were finally able to agree on a deal, turning the strike into a celebration.
This is my 23rd year. I'm about to retire as it happens, and I can't think of a better time to retire than after winning a contract like this. What has made today happen? One of the biggest factors, Mia McIver.
The contract includes 4 weeks of paid family leave, more transparent workload requirements, a 7% increase in pay after ratification, and a 3% salary increase annually over the next 3 years. The university had refused to negotiate on family leave until now.
It was a tremendous effort. It was a 3-year-long effort by thousands of people. It entailed collective bargaining in negotiation sessions. When the employer comes to the table and engages, good things happen. This campaign was a fight against gigification, right? It's a fight against gigification of the university and gigification of education. And that fight obviously extends far beyond the ivory tower.
This historic and hard-fought agreement gives hope not only to UC lecturers and their students, but also those in similar situations at other universities.
Here at USC, one group of professors is making its own calls for reform. In a letter to the Daily Trojan earlier this semester, the group called for better working conditions for faculty. One criticism, that the university removed certain benefits during the pandemic, and now professors want them back.
The administration in the last year plus froze retirement contributions that they made for faculty across the board and didn't give raises to people during the pandemic.
Dunbar Hester says that the university still hasn't reinstated those benefits. The letter also calls for USC to give more tenure positions to adjunct professors. About 20% of faculty are tenured or are on a tenure track. USC Vice President for Student Affairs Winston B. Crisp has resigned due to health reasons. Crisp has been with USC since August of 2019. Dr. Monique Allard, the Senior Associate Vice Provost for Student Affairs, will serve as interim vice president for student affairs.
The U.S. saw its highest number of drug overdose deaths this past year. According to the CDC, more than 100,000 people died from overdoses between April 2020 and April 2021. That's compared to the year before when 78,000 people died from drug overdoses. That's an increase of almost 30%. The most commonly used drugs were fentanyl, methamphetamine, prescription painkillers, and cocaine. USC pharmacy professor DAVIES said the pandemic intensified addiction to fentanyl.
The significant increase of substance use deaths linked to COVID, it's also linked to fentanyl, which is just skyrocketing. We have not had enough publicity on the dangers of synthetic fentanyl.
Dr. Davies also mentioned alcohol abuse as another big problem. He said alcohol has killed about the same number of people annually as drug overdoses. Defense attorneys for Kyle Rittenhouse asked for a mistrial today in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Rittenhouse shot and killed 2 men and wounded another in what he claims was self-defense. His attorneys claim the prosecution gave the jury a higher quality video than they gave the defense. They argued that having the jury's video, which depicted the tragedy, would have changed their arguments, and that warrants a mistrial. Rittenhouse is being tried for first-degree reckless homicide. If convicted, the 18-year-old faces up to 60 years in prison.
The Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transit Authority held a pop-up today at Union Station to sign up low-income riders for its discounted fare program. The Low-Income Fare is Easy program, also known as the LIFE program, offers weekly and monthly discounted transit passes on the Metro. During the coronavirus pandemic, LA Metro waived fares for riders, but will resume collecting those fares on January 10th.
Individuals who apply today for the program, they get a special one-time benefit. Are hoping to apply to have a great number of sign-ups, and we will be doing pop-ups around the county. We have scheduled 18 pop-ups between now and December 20th.
With the program, a monthly pass is now $76 and a weekly pass is $19. To see if you're eligible, you can apply for the program online at metro.net/riding/life. It's the end of an era on Figueroa. After 22 years, Staples Center will get a new name for Christmas, the Crypto.com Arena. The arena announced last night that a Singapore-based cryptocurrency company will now own the naming rights for 20 years. This is a record-breaking deal that cost over $700 million, or nearly 12,000 Bitcoin. We spoke to people outside of Staples Center to get their reaction.
I mean, I'm LA native, so it's like I grew up and was born here, raised and everything, so it's like pretty shocking.
It's just iconic, you know, it's Staples Center. You know, well, that's one of the places when you say Los Angeles, oh, it's the Staples Center.
Personally, I don't like it because, you know, it's Staples Center, a lot of historic things happen here. You know, there's a house Kobe Bryant built, so.
It's a staple, no pun intended. No, really, I mean, it's iconic.
Annenberg professor Jeff FELLENZER, who teaches sports, business, and media, explained what the name change can do for Crypto.com.
It certainly creates awareness. You've got everybody talking about Crypto.com and the cryptocurrency business and industry. So I think the timing was good because the industry has exploded and they're just trying to kind of catch the wave at the right time.
Now, I've personally seen a few LA Kings games at the Staples Center, but the arena is also home to the NBA's Los Angeles Lakers and Clippers, as well as the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks. The new logo for Crypto.com Arena will be unveiled Christmas Day.
Just ahead, it's called Art and Hope at the End of the Tunnel. We'll take you to a new exhibit.
Crosstown rivals, we are live at UCLA and USC to get a feel for the century-old feud.
And find out about a Native American film festival when entertainment reporter Anaja Smith sits down with an award-winning filmmaker.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
USC Fisher Museum Artist Talks have returned in person. Today, artist Mark Stephen Greenfield spoke about his part in the exhibit called Art and Hope at the End of the Tunnel. Greenfield is an LA-based artist. His work focuses on the complexities of the African American experience in both a historical and a modern context. His Black Madonna series features little-known stories associated with Black saints.
This is coming out of a series, as I said, the Black Madonna, and this is kind of a companion series to that. It's called Halo, and it deals with personages of the African origin who distinguish themselves in different ways, either through good acts or, in some instances, they're scoundrels.
The exhibit features work created during the pandemic by several artists. It will be on display until December 4th. The countdown is on to the big rivalry game this weekend. Reporter Marilyn Parra has dared to go to the UCLA campus where there's a kickoff rally.
In Bruin territory here at Wilson Plaza at UCLA, you can hear the music, feel the anticipation, and right behind me you can see them prepping the stage for tonight's live performances to take place. It's one of the largest outdoor gatherings here at UCLA called Beat USC. We're going to take you to some live footage we took earlier. The rally is part of many events to take place in preparation for this week's big game. Students can participate in many events like Get the Red Out Exchange, where students can turn in any red clothing item in exchange for a UCLA shirt. I'm here with a student, KJ. So KJ, tell me, any score predictions for tonight's game?
This week's game, I predict the score will definitely be 38-28 in UCLA's favor, of course.
Okay, and are you guys protecting any special monuments?
Being that USC is our crosstown rival and that it's such a big game, we naturally have to protect our monuments. One of them being the Bruin Bear, the others being the Jackie Robinson Memorial and the John Wooden statue.
Okay, KJ, so give me the inside scoop. Any special surprises for Tommy Trojan?
There shouldn't be any surprises this week, considering UCLA will win, considering we are the best school and the best team.
All right, loyalty. Well, that's enough of Bruin territory for now. Now let's check in to see how Tatum's doing.
Thanks, Marilyn. I am standing outside here with Tommy Trojan, and it looks like he has a new insurance plan. Coverage includes duct tape and the Trojan Knights. They have been out here since Saturday night protecting Tommy Trojan, and they have all their supplies ready. They have about a silo of coffee, cots to sleep overnight, and they are just ready to go, and they're here to stay. I have one of the Knights here, Jack, and he is actually the president of the Trojan Knights. Jack, what does it feel like to be out here?
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. I mean, this is one of the greatest traditions that USC has. It's one of the things that sets us apart from the rest of the universities out there. You don't see the Bruins out there sleeping every night, but the Trojan Knights have been here since Saturday at midnight, ready to go in case any Bruins do show up.
Right, you guys have been out here since Saturday. How are you guys keeping yourselves entertained?
Oh, you know, we play numerous sports games. We have some board games out here. It's just a good time to hang out with each other and talk. It's sort of a unique experience, you know, having a slumber party in college. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. And what is it like being the president of the Knights?
It's the honor of a lifetime. I mean, this is also the 100th year of Trojan Knights. So we've been out here for 90 years doing this and 100 years on campus. So it's a very exciting time.
Right. And with that, I'm Tatum Larson. Thank you so much, Jack. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you.
The USC Concert Committee is having their yearly Conquest concert tomorrow. The event is always held right before the Crosstown rivalry game with UCLA. This year, the opening performer will be Young Franco, followed by several different student group performances.
It's definitely a big step up since last year we were doing all virtual concerts and we just did less in general. So I never really had last year to prep as much for this year and like taking on the director role. But it's been going really well. We're getting to do everything pretty much fully in person, fully like at full capacity. We're expecting around 7,000, I would say.
The headliner will be rap producer Kenny Beats with special guests that have yet to be announced. The concert will comply with all COVID-19 guidelines and students are expected to show their Trojan check upon entrance. There will be food trucks, a giant Ferris wheel, and a pep rally. Conquest is happening tomorrow night. Now, Ramya, the weather has been a little hot and cold. What should I be wearing to Conquest?
Rivalry week is heating up, even though the temperatures are cooling down as we head towards Saturday's game. We see today's high is 61 with 75% humidity. Moving on for the next 5-day forecast, we see that going into the weekend, the temperatures are cooling down. The highs seem to be in the 70s and the lows in the 50s. Hopefully, after our victory on Saturday's game, things will warm up again on Sunday and Monday as the high will be 79 and low 54. We will also get some nice sunshine right in time for the Thanksgiving break. I hope the cold weather doesn't affect our USC athletes that will be playing our rivals UCLA on Saturday. Nicole, what are your thoughts on this game?
It should definitely be a good game, and it's a big week for USC football with the victory bell on the line. Freshman Jackson Dart is making his first career start against the other LA school. Women's soccer also has a big weekend as they look to continue their NCAA tournament run.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome to ATVN Sports. I'm Nicole Shearin.
And I'm Carlo Jimenez. Freshman Jackson Dart is the starting quarterback for this weekend's Crosstown rivalry. Keaton Slovis is out with a lower leg injury. Dart and his fellow Trojan teammates have high expectations for his first career start in the biggest game of the year.
It's definitely super exciting. I wouldn't really expect my first start to be in a rivalry game like this with, all the emotions and just the history of it all. So I'm super excited for the opportunity and I'm ready to go attack it.
It's been a week and we have more swipes. Today on Swiping, we're making our picks for the Crosstown rivalry. So first up, Dart will throw for at least 3 touchdowns.
I'm going to have to swipe right on this one, and it might sound crazy, but Jackson Dart, look, he's had almost a week and a half to prepare for UCLA. And his other 3 performances, he's had maybe a couple snaps or a couple of days to prepare for his opponents, but he was named the starter last Wednesday. Also, Dart in his biggest high school game of his career on ESPN Week 3 versus Corner Canyon had 6 touchdowns. I expect in a terrific performance against UCLA in his biggest collegiate game of his career.
I'm swiping hard left on this one. We need to put our foot on the brake a little bit. We can't get lost in the eye black. In his last 2 showings, he averaged 57% completion. He threw for 198 yards total. On paper, he doesn't look all that great. We know that UCLA likes to blitz, and I think it's going to rattle his cage. So as great as dart to start sounds, I'm a little skeptical. But next up, we have, will UCLA run for over 200 yards?
I'm not swiping left. I'm not swiping right. I'm swiping up. I'm super liking this one. Let's look at the 2 running backs for UCLA. Zach Charbonnet, Michigan transfer. Well, he's top 5 in the Pac-12 in every statistical rushing category. That's pretty good. His backup, Britton Brown, he just averages 6 yards a carry, which is 2nd in the conference. Trojans have struggled against mediocre running backs. They're going against the best 1-2 punch in the conference this weekend. Good luck.
You know, I'm double swiping right on this one. The Trojans are last in the Pac-12 when it comes to tackling. When they were playing against Arizona State, they were up against a team who allowed 190 yards on the ground, and they allowed 290 yards on the ground. Also, UCLA is known to run the most out of any team in the Pac-12, so it's going to give this Trojan defense some problems. But last one we have is the Victory Bell stays Cardinal and Gold.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with my boy KJ over there at UCLA. I think that Victory Bell stays Cardinal and Gold. Look, UCLA hasn't won at the Coliseum since 2013. That's a long time ago. And the Trojans on the defensive end forced turnovers almost every game, at least 2 of them. UCLA in their losses has turned it over 7 times in just 4 losses. So the Trojans are going to cause a lot of havoc for that team in blue and gold, and the Bell will stay Cardinal and Gold.
See, I'm swiping left on this one. The Bell is not staying Cardinal and Gold. It's turning blue and gold. They're playing against a UCLA team who is going to cause some havoc on offense. They were playing quarterback for UCLA, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He had a completion percentage of 60%, but against USC, it's 70%. When these 2 teams played each other the past 2 times, the winning team won by more than 40 points. So this UCLA offense is going to expose the struggles that this Trojan defense faces.
Should be an interesting one. We're just 2 days away from USC soccer's 2nd round matchup against Penn State. I caught up with junior midfielder Croy Bethune about her opening round hat trick and the Trojans tournament run.
For this game, we just wanted to emphasize on starting fast and getting our goals out quick so we can defend on the back end. And this game against Penn State is going to be a big game, a good game. So we just need to continue to keep that energy and try to score first so teams don't have the advantage.
Because UNC.
Well, that's all we have for sports.
Coming up, we'll bring you another Meta Moment segment with a tenured music and sound healer.
Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles. Rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
This year marks the 15th anniversary of the LA Skins Fest, a festival that celebrates indigenous filmmakers during Native American Heritage Month. Earlier today, I spoke with a USC School of Cinematic Arts alumna who's now an award-winning filmmaker, actor, writer, and director. You're actually going to be premiering your film on Saturday called The Train. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. So The Train is a sci-fi kids film, and it takes place in the year 3050. So just so you know, billionaires are not the only ones that are going up in space. We're actually taking all these kids and putting them up in space. And the story is about these kids who get separated from their families, and they're up on this train that they have to power by dancing, right? And any little move with their emotional frequencies when they get mad or sad, you know, the train can actually come down from space.
Tell us how this is related to the overall theme of the LA Skins Fest, with Native Americans being at the forefront of creating films.
Well, all the stars of the film are actually Native, Indigenous, and Latinx. So we make sure that we're highlighting brown, beautiful people, because to me, like, that's the most important thing to do in non-stereotypical roles. That has always been my mission. I always make sure that when I'm creating, when I'm writing, when I'm directing, I'm actually like giving agency to the next generation, and I'm inspiring to make sure that they know that they are stars, because our community is so rich in culture and history, but we just haven't heard about it.
And speaking of stereotypes, because I know a lot of Native American films historically have shown bad stereotypes, how are you guys going to go about, you know, creating your own storylines and making sure you represent yourselves well?
Well, because no one can tell your story the way you can. So we're actually owning it, and it's our time now. That's what I'm noticing now, that the change is happening, but that's because there are more people that are people of color that are making their own projects. So for me, I'm just like, all right, let's tell all these stories, right? Let's put a lead that's Native American. Let's put some indigenous, beautiful brown people on the big screen, you know? And that's something that, you know, it hasn't happened because we haven't been put in power positions. But then you have people like Patty, who, you know, she's the founder of the festival. You have people like myself. I came to USC to learn how to do this stuff. So slowly it's changing because we finally have the tools that we need to actually make our own project.
The LA Skins Fest is until November 21st at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Check out the Annenberg Media YouTube channel for the full interview.
In tonight's Meta Moments segment, we're going to focus on singing bowl meditation. We invited wellness expert Dr. Toby Fischel to help guide us through a form of meditation that uses sound to help relax and clear the mind.
Can you tell us a little more about these interesting bowls on the table?
Happy to. I'm so happy to be here. These are usually called Tibetan singing bowls, and bowls are used to bring about relaxation, decrease anxiety, help you actually feel more awake, could help you study. The reason why they're a meta moment, mindful moment, is that they engage your sound, your hearing, and it also, you can feel the vibrations. And sometimes people say, I feel a tingling and I feel really aware and awake. And so I think we should just give it a try. It's a mini sound bath. You up for it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm excited.
So you might want to close your eyes and just take a deep breath. What happened?
I honestly feel like I was transported to another realm. I could feel the vibrations everywhere. What about you?
Yeah, I didn't even know that we'd finished. Well, thank you so much for coming on. That was a cool experience.
Yeah, well,
you're welcome.
Thank you guys so much for watching Annenberg Media. From everyone here, I'm Anisha Banerjee.
And I'm Luke Scorziell. You can watch more of our show at youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Good luck to our team this weekend against the school that should not be named.
Oh, we will not name them on this show today, not tonight.
No, we're going to have to go back through and edit out all of those instances.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, thank you all a ton. From Annenberg Media, again, I'm Luke Scorziell.
And I'm Anisha Banerjee. Have a great night.
Yep.